Rhonda Hattie Roy has stated that the trouble is, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you've seen it, keeping quiet, saying nothing becomes as political an act as speaking out. There's no innocence. Either way, you're accountable. What are these things that we see? The mistreatment of other humans, women being degraded into sex objects, porn, sex shops, clubs, and a super hypersexualized culture create a supply and demand that feed into the sex industry, including trafficking. And fueling the sex industry leaves a negative impact on the individual who's buying into the industry, the people in relationship with the user, and even the world. There was a survey done in the United Kingdom this past year that found that 50% of 11 to 14-year-olds have viewed porn, and the average age of exposure to pornography is 8. With a survey that shows people looking at pornography are becoming younger, it's essential that the school systems teach your students about the effects pornography has on their individual, the people they have relationships with, and the community around them. At a time when teenagers should be channeling their energies into academics and athletics and even learning to do different things with their hands, it's very harmful for them to gain easy access to pornography, which captivates their imaginations and supersedes all other thoughts. If they know the consequences of using pornography at a younger age, it may prevent them from buying into it and becoming addicted. People who use pornography will usually say that it's not bad if you don't become addicted to it. Pornography is addictive though. Dr. Dolph Zillman of the Indiana University has performed studies that show a person who looks at pornography is more likely to be desensitized to it. It creates fantasies in their heads that are capable of controlling them. I'm not saying that a person who becomes addicted and desensitized to porn is terrible. No. They're also victims. Pornography has a way of imprisoning a person's mind. They're not the ones in control of their thoughts anymore. Yes, the person was the one who took the first step into viewing porn in the first place. But the person does not choose to become addicted. When a person first begins to view pornography, self-confidence begins to diminish and they start feeling shame. But those feelings quickly shift and turn into enjoyment and regular viewing. Another point that people might use in saying that pornography is not a bad thing is that it doesn't actually hurt anyone. But that's wrong. In Luke Gilkerson's book, Your Brain on Porn, he found research that showed that watching pornography decreases an individual's sexual satisfaction, impairs an individual's ability to have healthy and authentic relationships, promotes an attitude of devaluing women, and desensitizes a person to violence. Some people in articles have said that pornography can make a man have more of a positive attitude towards the women in their life. But an article in the Huffington Post discovered that women who find explicit material on their partner's computer begin to feel like they're not good enough. They feel like they can't measure up to what their partner's viewing. When in a romantic relationship, it's putting an unrealistic expectation on one's significant other, leading to an unsatisfactory relationship. Even outside of significant relationships, pornography gives a false view of how women are supposed to look and behave. In a film being produced called Hearts of Men, they state that pornography, prostitution, and trafficking are all linked together. Every part of the sex industry is connected. Communities that are near the presence of sexually oriented businesses tend to have a higher rate of crime and a decrease in housing value. It produces a negative effect for the surrounding communities and produces an unsafe area to live. Studies have shown that people who view pornography are more likely to buy prostitutes, even girls who are trafficked. This starts to become a global issue, a global crime. Sex has become a business, and we all know the motto in business: supply and demand. When there's more of a demand for sex, the people in the industry need to be able to have the supply to meet the demand. That's where sex trafficking comes. The viewers of pornography are becoming younger and younger as time goes on. When viewing porn, a person becomes a prisoner to it. It desensitizes them to normal sexual relationships. It produces a skewed image of what females are supposed to look like and how they are supposed to behave. When a person finds out that someone views pornography, it makes them feel as if they're not good enough, like they're being compared to unrealistic expectations. Pornography is almost a gateway drug into prostitution and trafficking. Porn, sex shops, clubs, and a super hypersexualized culture create a supply and demand that feed into the sex industry, including trafficking. And fueling the sex industry leaves a negative impact on the individual who is buying into the industry, the people in relationship with the user, and even the world. Authorities and parents have failed to realize that pornography affects a person much like that of drugs and alcohol. Just as drugs artificially excite the emotions, up or down, making a person feel good, bad, hostile, passive. Pornography passing through the eye into the brain can artificially inflame a person to sexual arousal. In order to move closer to a healthier world, the hearts of the people who buy into sex need to become healthy. If we can talk to students while they're still in school about the effects that pornography will have on themselves and the people they have relationships with and the world, we will see change. William Wilberforce once said, "You may choose to look the other way, but you can never again say you didn't know."